So for this video, we're responding to K9 Aversion, and I'm just going to say this. To the video that we're responding to, which is how Captain Jean-Luc Picard or Sir Patrick Stewart broke my heart from K9 Aversion. I'm going to say this right now. Don't look up the video. Don't watch it. It's boring and misleading dreck. And as I tried to watch the video, at least try to figure out what portions I could use to make this video, this is literally how I felt.
It's so boring.
How does that work? Where does that exactly come from? It doesn't make any sense.
Make it stop.
It doesn't make sense. Life doesn't make sense. Wade, look at me. You're a fierce warrior. Happy-go-lucky guy.
Damn it, Wade!
So with that out of the way, why don't we go ahead and get started on this, shall we?
Now, I have been a huge fan of Captain Jean-Luc Picard for many, many, many years. I began watching Star Trek The Next Generation, which aired from 1987 to 1994, I believe. And at that time, I was a teenager. But I had a low-key crush on him. I thought it was really fascinating because here was this older guy, but I found him to be so handsome and charming and intelligent and diplomatic, and I just loved his character.
Wait, she was a teenager when she was watching Star Trek? And she is speaking romantically about Sir Patrick Stewart, somebody who is way above her age. Well, I guess love works in mysterious ways, I guess. I'm not, and, for those people who, fall in love like that, to each his own, just make sure it's legal. That's all I have to say. Otherwise, your ass is going to jail. Depending on which one of you is the adult.
And throughout the years, I have maintained this, I wouldn't say adoration, but tremendous respect for the character, as well as the actor, Patrick Stewart. Now, I didn't watch a whole lot of his other work, but the stuff I did see him in was great. I thought he was a great actor from what I saw. And he just seemed like a really nice person. I remember reading something about how he was an advocate for women's rights. I believe, gosh, my memory fails me right now, but I think he was raised with, he had an abusive father. So he was dedicated to fighting domestic abuse.
I could be wrong, but I thought it was abuse in general. Like, when it comes to abuse, like men and women. But again, I could be wrong on that. I could have read it wrong. But I could have sworn he was, somebody who tackled that sort of issue for both men and women.
And from what I read and what I knew about him, which admittedly wasn't a whole lot, I had respect for the man, the actor. But mainly it was the captain. Captain Picard. Loved him.
I will say over the years that Picard himself has proven himself to be a very, very universal actor. He's done a lot of great work when it comes to the movies that he's played in. Heck, no joke, one of my favorite roles that he was in was literally in Star Trek, what was it? First Contact, when they have to go back in time to make sure that first contact with the Vulcan is not interrupted because the Borg travels back in time to stop it, as well as assimilate all of humanity in the process. And Picard, this entire time for the entire movie, is distraught by his experience by being assimilated into the Borg and becoming something that he wasn't. And he kind of gives this vibe of the captain from Moby Dick, where he is obsessed and wants to destroy the Borg. He does a really good job with that. But we're not talking about that now, are we? We're not talking about why he's a good actor. You know, let's get to the crux of the issue, shall we?
And then I started reading about how he was fostering pit bulls and sharing pictures of himself with pit bulls on his social media, and was totally smitten and in love with these beasts. Look at this picture. Could anything be more vile and disgusting than that?
Not really. I mean, again, good dogs are raised by good owners, and bad dogs are raised by bad owners. And dogs that aren't taught, or at least trained in a proper manner, end up becoming bad dogs usually.
I cannot imagine what anyone can find endearing in these dogs.
Of course you can't, because unfortunately, well, at least for your case, you are so close-minded and delusional you can't accept the fact that people who are loving to their animals train, or at least have a loving animal in their care. I'm not going to deny the fact that there are some cases, and I say some because you over-exaggerate the cases when it comes to dog attacks. There are some cases where pit bulls, out of the blue, will attack somebody. But usually that's not the case. Usually when it comes to a pit bull attack, it's usually provoked. Or at least any type of dog attack, it's usually provoked. You act threatening, you're probably going to get attacked. You try to attack the dog, more likely you're going to get attacked. Especially if a dog, or with a dog, that has been abused. And more likely, pit bulls like this are trained as service animals. Oh, I know you hate those. I absolutely know you hate those. But you can't deny the fact, or sorry, you will deny the fact that service dogs have been a huge help in society when it comes to people who need it. You're about to have a heart attack, or at least have a stroke. Your service animal, trained to understand your body movement as well as habits, will see that and try to protect you, or at least, in a sense, be trained to take certain actions if that kind of health risk, occurs. If you're blind, you can have a seeing eye dog. A dog that will help you get where you need to go. I mean, dogs nowadays have a lot of tasks that they're trained to do. Hell, some of the crime, some of the drug trafficking wouldn't have been caught without some of the dogs that are trained to do that. You do realize that, right? Which, from what I've heard, some people have speculated maybe that's the reason why you hate dogs. Or at least one of the reasons. Is because some people have been caught doing drugs. I don't know. It's a stupid speculation, but at the same time, there's a lot of crimes, and dogs have been very helpful when dealing with some of these crimes or criminals. Look, for the rest of the video, or at least her rest of the video, I wasn't going to respond to it. Because the mass majority of it is misleading. It cherry picks various articles, and it's just a diatribe. It's just an absolute garbage heap of misinformation. Look, I'm going to say this. Especially with a lot of the stuff that goes on, especially with these dog haters, a lot of these people more than likely have no experience with dogs. And they say the things that they say because they are ignorant and they don't understand what they're talking about. And I usually end the video by asking, you know what? If you hate dogs so much, then you know what? Take a second to maybe go to a shelter and see what it's all about. See how evil dogs really are. But you're not going to. People like you just want to live in your bubble of ignorance. Okay. And you can't cry wolf when people like me, or the Dark Reindeer, or many others call you out for your bullshit. Alright. I'm going to end it here. What are your thoughts? Leave in the comments down below. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. This is Rob of Novakast signing off. Have a good one, and take care. Peace.